We're working on this packet here that I have sent out. We're going to find percentages of a number. And what this will entail is all of the information that we've already covered in changing percents to decimals to fractions and mixing that with the vocabulary that we learned back in another section. So what I'm going to do is just move straight into how to do these problems. Okay, now I will tell you ahead of time that there are different methods to doing these problems. I have seen the different methods and I can review those if you need a different method than the one I teach, but the other one just never stuck with me. And so I'm going to teach you the way I decided it was easiest for me to remember. So the very first one on here says 52% of 210. Now, those of you that have the handouts, this one's already worked for you, but I want to explain the words that we will probably be using in all of these problems. What, or find. We're going to use X or any variable that you want. Some people like the first letter of their name, whatever, any letter is fine with me. What or find, you're going to use X. Now, when it says percent, I want to remind you that percent means over 100. Okay, so if it says 12%, that's going to be 12 over 100. If they talk about 5%, 5 over 100, it will be a fraction. Okay, is equals. Oh, we're also going to combine the vocabulary and the conversions of fractions, percent to decimals, and solving equations. Ha ha, we're putting it all together. Okay, what percent is of? And of means multiply. Now we'll add to that if I find some more, but these are the main ones that will be used in these confusing problems. I've seen a lot of students struggle with these, and you don't have to. Okay, so we're going to translate this into mathematics, and it says 52, so we write a 52. It says percent, and percent means over 100. So this says 52% of is times 210. Now, since we're going to work this problem and we have fractions in the problem, I like to make everything fractions. It makes it much, much easier. Okay? Now, those of you that are okay with cross-canceling, you can do that. We're going to work this without cross-canceling first. So when you multiply fractions, all you do is tops and multiply the bottoms. So we have 52. Big number, 10920 over 100 times 1 is 100. And then when you divide this out on your calculator, when you divide by 2 zeros here, it just moves the decimal back. But you can do this on your calculator. And so 52% of 210 is 109.2 or 0.20. So you translate, and then if you're working with fractions, then work with fractions. You know, make this a fraction. And then if you don't want to cross cancel, then just multiply across, and this line means divide. So you're going to do this on your calculator, okay? And you get 52% of 109. Now, part of mathematics is looking to see, does this really make sense? Okay, so think about this. This is what I do when I look at my problem and say, I wonder if my decimal's in the right place, or does this make sense? So what I look at this, 50%, which is pretty close, 50% is half, right? So half of 210 would be 105, right? Half of it means I'm going to divide this by 2. So I'm estimating in my head half of 210 is about 105. So when I got 109, that answer makes sense to me. Okay, we did the mathematics correctly, and this makes sense. Now let's go back and do some cross-canceling and remind you about this, because it is such a time saver. A lot less work, and you can choose to do either. I don't care if you don't cross-cancel, especially since you have calculators. This is okay. Now, if you have a numerator, which is the top, and a denominator at the bottom that has some zeros, it's ending in zeros, then if this has an ending 0 and this has an ending 0, you can mark those off, because what you're doing is dividing this by 10 and dividing this by 10. 10 has 1 0. So we marked off a 0 and a 0 already. You can cross cancel like that. So now on top I have 21. I have 52 and I have 10. Do y'all see? And if we look at the numerator and this denominator, we can see that they're even numbers. Even numbers always divide by 2, always. So we can look at this one and divide by 2, and we will get 26. And we divide this by 2 and get 5. So now on top we have 26 times 21. Which gives us 546 over 5. If you're doing this by hand, this is much better than that huge one, right? But when you divide this out, believe it or not, you're going to get the same answer. So cross-canceling is pretty cool. If you're confused by it, don't use it until you're ready. Okay? If you don't want to cross-cancel, simply multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, divide. Are we good? Okay. So 109.2, I hope that's what we got here. Oh, I wrote it a little bit differently. Do what?
Can I ask how you got the 1?
This?
Yes.
Okay, anytime you have a whole number, 7, if you want to make it a fraction, you can put it over an invisible one, and that makes it a fraction. And the only reason I did it is because I had a top and a bottom here. I want a top and a bottom with the whole problem. Any whole number, you can always make it a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. Now don't put the 1 on top, changes everything. Okay, goes on the bottom. So let's go down to, just for the heck of it, does anybody want to come up here and work one? Ooh, I see chickens.
I will try one.
Okay, good, good. And I will help you out by talking about what you are doing or moving you along, okay?
Okay.
So let me write the problem. For those of you with the worksheet, I'm on number 5B. It's all yours, babe.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we know we start with 39.
Yes.
We're going to do how we read it. So write 39.
39.
And then percent means
over 100.
There you go. What does of mean?
Multiplication
Good.
of 719 over 1.
Yes, go ahead and finish that one. Okay, equals.
Okay,
Here's calculator.
already. Oh,
It doesn't even look like it's going to cross cancel, does it?
I don't
I think so. So what she's going to do now is she's multiplying the tops together. Those are called numerators. So she's multiplying the top.
Okay, it's a big number.
Huge number.
28041.
Okay, leave that on your calculator.
Okay.
Go ahead and put it over.
100.
Yes. Now you already have the 28041 on your calculator, and it says to take that and divide it by 100. So you can simply hit divide. And your answer is 280.
280.41.
0.41. Nice, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely correct. Wonderful job. This is here. Any questions on these so far?
So she just cross multiplied and then the 100 by the 719 and then divided by the 39.
You multiply straight across to get this. Multiply the bottoms together to get this. When you're working with this line means to divide. The line in a fraction means to divide. So you take this number, divide it by 100.
Oh, so I just, when I was doing it, I took the 39 and I multiplied it by 719. And then,
No, you don't divide it.
I mean, not divide it, I multiplied it.
Yes, yes.
I just multiplied it, that's all.
And then you have to divide it by the bottom part.
Oh, I didn't have a bottom part. I just multiplied it and just put the
When you
decimal 2
multiply-
places to the left.
Yeah. What we're going to do is change the problem to mathematics. So when this says 39, that's the 39, but the percent means over 100.
Yes,
So we have
ma'am.
to put the 39 over 100
Okay.
times 719. And when we use 719, it's a whole number, but this was a fraction. So if I make everything in the problem a fraction, it makes it easier to do. So I simply put it over 1. You can put any whole number over 1 and make it a fraction. Makes it easier to do the math.
Oh, I see you were doing the fractions. Yeah, I couldn't. The fractions, I kind of put them to the back because I wasn't too sure.
Are you better now?
Yes,
You sound sleepy.
I don't feel good. I was up most of the night last night sick.
I'm so sorry to hear that. We've got Irene back. We're so happy about that.
Good.
Yes. We're getting ready to get new students as soon as orientation is over. So excited about that. They decided maybe they would be nice.
Mhm.
All right. Now, this is the type of problem that is completely covered. I think it's the very same on this whole front page. Okay. Every one of the problems is the same. So you can practice that. Now it looks like page 2 also is exactly the same thing, only it deals with units now. Tablespoons, whatever. And what you need to start to get used to is if we're talking about different types of units, you need to use those in your answer. Okay, so if it says 19% of 200 tablespoons, when you get your answer, you say Whatever the answer is, tablespoons, okay? We're going to use our units now. Third page. Okay, on this one, you're going to do exactly the same thing. These are the same thing. It's a percent of a number, a percent of a number. But in this one, what you're going to do, it says we're going to compare quantities. So on number 1, you're going to find the answer to this, and I would suggest you write it underneath. Then you're going to find the answer to this one and write the answer underneath. I'm here comparing quantities. On the side?
Yeah.
You may have the answer, you may be looking at the answer side.
Oh, no. I've got it right here.
Okay, yeah, you can put them on the side or whatever, but you're going to, each problem, you're going to have 2 answers. You're going to have this, the right answer and the left answer. And then what the instructions say is in the box, you're going to practice are the quantities less than, greater than, thank you, or equal to, okay? So you're going to look at those, and you're not only going to be fine percentages now, you're going to go back and practice your greater than, less than, and equals. Okay. And then they have a couple of word problems down there. I suggest when you do word problems, what you need to do is read the whole problem first. Just read it. And then you know we're dealing with brownies, or we're dealing with children, or we're dealing with cars, okay? What you do is just find out what we're dealing with in the first place. Then go back and read it a little bit more careful and find out what you're supposed to do. It'll probably say find a percent of something. You'll just need to decode it, okay? But look for your vocabulary. And then when you finally get an answer, my suggestion is always go back, read one last time and find out what they're looking for. What did they ask for? And make sure that your answer is what they're asking for. Because some of the problems that you're going to see, they're going to say, a basketball team made this many shots. They made this many, okay? And so they want you to find the percentage, blah, blah, blah. Well, then when you get that answer, the answer you got is how many they made, but they might be asking you how many did they miss? So you're going to have to go back and find that other answer. You see? So be sure when you have an answer to a word problem, then go back and make sure what they're asking for. And then use your units. Okay? Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
On that other packet,
Yes, ma'am.
I did really good from everything except from going from the percent to the fraction.
Yes.
I wasn't really sure about how to do that. And so the ones that had the multiple choice, you know, I could kind of look at it, kind of rule out which ones wasn't the right answer, but I really wasn't sure about how to go from the fraction to
I
the
want to introduce
percent.
y'all just a minute, Sherry, okay?
Okay.
I want to introduce you to the new science teacher. This is Joanne, okay? And she's coming just to watch and see how the Zoom and the Zoom record goes. Hi. These are my shy people. Sherry doesn't show her face when she hadn't put her makeup on.
Hi.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't either.
And there's Brittany, and she has to take care of a little one. Well, she has 2 little ones, but she has a baby. And so every once in a while, she just pops off for a minute.
Okay.
But she's very, very, all of my students are just so good. And then Josh hasn't been able to come on because he said hello.
Well, hello.
Because he's scheduled for surgery, but COVID keeps putting it off.
Oh, goodness.
So he remotes from home, and Luanny was one of my students in the evening. And then through a, through a lot of family, they've had some family losses, and she's had to move out of town, but I invited her to go ahead and come in on our Zoom so she can
Sure.
finish up. So those are our students here.
All right.
And this is Joanne. Hi, Joanne. And she's going to watch us.
Hello.
Okay. So I will go ahead and teach.
Okay.
Okay, Sherry, you were asking me about converting. One of them is okay with you. One of them is not.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's going from a percent to a fraction.
Is that the one you're okay with, or the one you're
No,
not?
I'm not okay. I mean, I
Percent to a
know,
fraction?
yes.
You're going to be happy to see this. Let me just make up one. Okay, here's our percent. And I want a fraction, right?
Yes.
So what does percent mean?
100.
Over 100. So what you're going to do is write this 15 over 100, and ding, 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 it's already a fraction. All
Oh,
you have to do is simplify it by dividing the top and the bottom by the same thing. So let's divide by 5 and divide by 5. So now you have 3 over 20. All you have to do is remember that percent means over 100.
okay. Yeah, because I didn't have any problems with all the decimals, but when I got to that one, I was like, I don't really remember.
Okay,
Just
that
forgotten.
one was an easy question, Sherry.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about Sherry.
Okay.
Sherry, I'm sorry, I left you out.
I don't think so.
Sherry was also a student here, and her husband got a job in, is it Wyoming or Montana?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. And she was almost ready to take her test, but they had to go. So Sherry also gets on with us
That's great.
to finish out her information. Now, she won't get to take the test here, but those are my babies, and I don't just kick them out. Okay?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Sherry, didn't mean to ignore you.
Oh, it's fine.
All right. Now, we're going to move on to what is page 4 on the worksheets. If you numbered your pages, it says percent at the top, and it's sheet 1. Y'all see it? It starts with what is 25%. Okay? It's like, this is the page we're on, y'all, of the page that you got in your email. Everybody there?
Yes.
Now, if you'll notice, the words are a tiny bit different here, but the same rule applies. What is 25% of 530? Use these same main vocabulary words. When I say what, it's what. Is means equals. 25% means over 100. Of means times. 530 is a whole number. Since I'm dealing with fractions, I want a fraction. So I put it over 1. Solving equations, remember, we put our line down through the sign, circle the variable. In the end, we want the x to be by itself. It is by itself, so all we have to do is this mathematics. And remember, in the cross-canceling earlier on, I told you that if the denominator and a numerator somewhere has a 0 at the end, you can mark those off because it's like dividing by 10. Now we have 53 on this side, and we have 10 here. Okay, look at the top and the bottom here. If anything ends in 5 or 0, it will divide by 5. So both of these will divide by 5. When I divide this by 5, I have a 2. When I divide by 5 here, I get 5. That makes my numbers a lot smaller. And so I have 5 times 53, which will be 265 over 2, because I take 2 times 1 and get the 2. And then when you divide that out, you're going to have 137.5. Is that correct?
132.
130. Oh, yes. Good. Thank you very much. Who was that? Rachel?
Yeah.
Thank you. 132.5. You are absolutely correct. Now remember, if this cross-canceling is bothering you, if cross-canceling confuses you, then when you multiply here, you can take the original 25 times 530, get a big, big answer. You can take the 100 times 1, get 100. And remember that the line in this fraction here means divide. So just take your calculator and put this in first, this big number, and divide it by 100. You will get exactly the same answer. Okay, if you don't like the cross canceling, that's fine. Cross canceling is really powerful for us. Do y'all see that even if they move the words around, all we have to do is translate, 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 and then use what we already know about solving equations. Yes? No problems? Okay, and again, pretty soon they will give you some word problems, not on that page. And I think, oh, let's go to, let's do number 7, because on this percent page, the same page that we're on, they changed the words. Not all of them are the same words. So they moved stuff around on us, but we're not afraid. Are we, Sherry? We're going to do number 7. Number 7 says 43 is 31% of what number?
31. I'm sorry. Or what now? Oh,
We're on we're on number 7. Crazy girl. What are you doing?
I am thinking.
It's like when you're thinking about something and you spurt it out. And I didn't mean to say that. Okay. So looking at the words, these are not uncommon words. Look at them. So I'm going to write down 43 because it says 43. That looks like math. Is means equals 31%. Percent is over 100, so 31 over 100 of what number? X, right? And since this is a fraction, I want this to be a fraction. Yes? Okay. Here's our variable. So we've got a little bit to get rid of. Now, you can do what you want to here, but I want to get this all together in one fraction. It'll make it easier for me. So I'm just going to multiply the top, 31x, multiply the bottom I have over 100, equals 43. That's better for me. Okay, here's your variable. We put our line down through the equal sign, so we're going to focus on this side of the equation. Here's our variable. So what do we need to get rid of?
Divide 31 and 100?
We can do that.
The one. I mean the X.
Okay, we want the X to stay. So usually you don't like fractions very much. How about if we get rid of the 100? Okay, we can get rid of the 31 over 100 at the same time.
So cross it, cross the zero.
Like do the reciprocal. But right now, I think what we'll do is one step at a time.
Oh,
So we don't like the fraction. This, how is 100 hooked to the X? Divide. So how are you going to get rid of it? Multiply. So we're going to multiply by 100 and multiply by 100, right? Because we keep it balanced. Since this is a fraction, make this a fraction. And look, the numerator and the denominator will divide by 100. There's one, what we call cancel out, because they're exactly the same. And so what we're left with now, 43 times 100 is 4,300. These canceled out to 1 and 1 and 1, so I have 31x. Okay. So our line down through the equal sign, circle your variable. What do you need to get rid of?
31
How's it hooked?
by multiplication.
So you're going to,
divide.
times and divide.
so you're going to divide by 31, but you have to balance, remember? This cancels out and we have x equals, and you've already divided, Rachel?
No.
Okay. Now you're going to take 4,300, divide it by 31.
Okay, that's the number. Okay, it says 138.7. And then it continues with 0,
138.7.
0, 9, 6, 7,
That's enough.
7, 4.
That's enough. Because it says, up in the instructions, it says round, so we get to practice our rounding, round it to 2 decimal places. So what would the answer be here?
It will be,
Here's 2 decimal places right here. Here's 2 decimal.
would it be 149?
138.70.
Almost, but you always look at the outsider.
138.71.
Does this round it up or down?
No. Well, yes.
97.
Nope.
Okay, watch.
Wait.
Watch.
You said
138.71.
Yes. This is the answer we want.
So 71.
Yes.
138.
Yes. This is all they want is 2 decimal places, but you have to look at the outsider. If it's 5 above, it's going to shoot this up, right? Okay, so if we're going to round this, the answer will be 138.71. Y'all see?
Yeah.
You draw your box around what they want, but look at the outsider. Okay? But the main thing here, this is still solving equations, rounding, blah, blah, blah. This is the main thing that you're learning today. You're adding your percents, the stuff you know about decimals, fractions, percents, and you're putting that together, what you learned with vocabulary, and then what we learned about solving, and then what we learned about rounding. Do you see why I showed you this and this and this and this? Didn't make any sense, but now we're bringing them together. You see? I want to look and find another one because there's still another type. Let me look at your worksheets and find it. It'll say, there it is. What percent? I'm on number 13, same page. Number 13. Do you see any new words here? This is what. I don't see any new words. Percent of is, right? What percent? So what is X? This is over 100. So I have X over 100 times, good,
Would be 69.
69, but since we're, let's put it over 1 because we got fractions. There we go. There's the variable, so we're going to concentrate on this side. Now, you could start to get rid of stuff, but I like to put these together so I have just one fraction to deal with. So let's go ahead and multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms, okay? So I have 69 69x over 100 equals 55. Now, for a while, I'm going to have you do these separately. If you want to know how to do it quicker and get rid of the whole thing, I will show you individually for a while because I want you to understand what you're doing. So I want to get rid of this. Most people don't like the fraction. How do I get rid of the 100?
By multiplying it by 100.
Yes, and I heard those of you back there that said divide. It is divided, so I get rid of it by multiplying. That's perfect. Perfect. 100 is the same as 100 over 1. These are going to divide by 100 and leave 1. So now I have 69x equals 5,500 because I multiplied those. I want x by itself, so pay attention over here. What do I need to get rid of?
69.
This is the only thing. If I use the whole board, I have to change it. Okay. You said do what?
You have to divide 69.
Okay. It's multiplied right now. The opposite is to divide. So we're going to divide this side. Have to balance the equation. So I divide this side. So now the 69s cancel out to 1. 1x is the same as x. It's just an invisible one. Can't do that one in my head.
It's 79.7101. And it goes on.
Okay, it goes on, but they said to round it to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to write these numbers. Sometimes it says nearest hundredth. On this, it says to the nearest 2 decimal places. So that means 2 places after the decimal. This is the answer they want, but before you give a final answer, you need to look at the outsider. Does that boost this up to a 2?
No.
No. So this is your final answer for that one. Y'all see? Okay. Let me flip through the rest of these and make sure if there's something else that will cause you problems. I think those are okay. Aha, and then some word problems. How about we go to page 6. Page 6 of the word problems. It says, find answers to the percentage problems. Okay. Keep going, Mary. Yes, there we go. Everybody see where we are?
No.
We're on this one. Start with a poodle. Okay, we're going to do a poodle. And then we may do number 2. And then I'm going to let you guys struggle a little bit. See how far you can go, okay? So these are the last 2 for now. We won't be moving away from this much tomorrow, but do as much as you can tonight. All right. Okay, remember, if it's a word problem, you just read it first, okay? The $199.99 poodle I purchased was on sale for 10% off. So what did I pay for the poodle? Okay, so it's a sale. You don't have to spend $200, right? You get to spend less. So you keep that in your head. I'm going to spend less. So my answer, if it makes sense, is going to be less than $200, right? Okay, now that's what you just keep in your head. Now we're going to look at it. We need to find, if we're going to take 10% off of an original price, then we need to find out the percent of the poodle price, right? Yes, yes, I'm going to find 10% of the poodle price. Y'all see? Well, we know how to do this. We have 10% of $199.99. Okay? Multiply across the top, and we have 1999.9 divided by 100. Multiply, multiply. Yes? Go ahead and check. Brandy, use a calculator. You silly, silly girl. Get used to using the calculator so it'll be really good on the test. I know. I had to work with Irene for a long time.
So let's move the decimal point 2 times.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to have 19. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to have 19.999. Well, I need to round this money. Okay, so this says, is this how much I'm going to pay for the poodle? No. What is that then?
It rounds it up to about 20.
You're exactly right. It rounds it up to $20. Nines are funny. If we want money right here, money has two places, right? This 9 pushes this up to 10, which pushes this up to 10, which pushes this up to 10, which pushes this up to 2. So $20. Now my question is, that's our answer. But what is that answer? Is that how much the poodle cost? No. Well, it says, what did I pay for the poodle? So how am I going to figure that out? I only got $20.
It's under 100%.
No, what is $20? What is $20, guys?
You subtract it from 199.99.
Yes, that's how much money I get off of the price.
Oh.
They said I get 10% off. So when I found my 10%, that's what I get to take off of the price of the poodle. So you have a second step now where you take the original poodle price, which makes sense to me. What about y'all? And then I don't have to pay that. I get to take $20 off because $20 is 10%. Okay, so it says, what do you pay for the poodle? It's going to be this. Y'all see? So be very, very careful. It says I get to take 10% off. Well, when you find 10%, that's not the price of the poodle. That's what you get to take off of the price of the poodle. They're going to do the same thing in a tax problem. Like when you go to the, well, in Texas, I don't think you pay tax, do you, on food? But let's say you went and bought a really cool jacket, okay? Well, you're going to have to pay tax. Maybe they say 6%, which would be nice. We're 8.25 here, 8.25. But let's say 6% tax. So what the cashier is going to do is add up everything you bought, the jacket, right? $500, okay? $500. But you don't get to pay just $500. You have to pay an extra tax to add on to, right? The way they figure the tax, 6% of what you bought. 6% times the 500. Y'all see? And then the answer you get is not how much you paid for the jacket, because it's going to be like $4 or something. Okay? You have to add the tax on. So be careful what they're wanting you to do and what your percentage represents. Are we good? Okay. How about y'all online? How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Do you feel like you're ready to attack these? And then we can
Oh, yeah.
answer questions on those tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
You think so, Josh? Good. It's so good to hear your voice. Oh, Sherry left. I wonder where she went.
I'm still here.
Are you?
Yes.
You're not showing on my little thing. I'm glad you're still here. Oh, good. Huh, I wonder why you're not showing on my, there you are. It must have been Brittany that left me. I'm here. I'm here. Okay, tomorrow, you all, I will take questions on both the converting from fractions to decimals to percents and these problems, percentages of. Okay,
All right.
are we okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'm finished for today. Luannie, I didn't hear anything from you. Ah! Why did you turn off your picture, you silly?
Because I have to scoot over to tap so you can hear me.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So are you okay with these right now to practice?
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay, and I'm going to pray, so I'm okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, and remember that you don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can text me. Remember,
Okay.
right?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
you can
Yes, ma'am.
call me, and if we need a private Zoom, let me know.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
It worked,
thank you.
didn't it, Luannie? Did the private Zoom help?
Yes, ma'am. A lot. I finished those papers.
Good,
I
good.
finished all of them, and I caught my mistakes, so I went back over them, and the ones I messed up on, I did over, and I did them right.
Okay.
So,
You
yeah.
worked very, very hard, Luannie. I'm very proud of you.
All right. Thank you so much for the help.
Sure, sure. Well, you guys know I love you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we love you.
I am going to let you guys